What's going on, guys? What's going on, my lifers? How is everybody doing? Hope everybody is having an amazing day. What's going on, MKT? What's going on, Great Danes? Good to see you guys in the chat. We'll just wait a few moments here and wait for everyone to fall into the room. I know it's a playoff night, so there may be a lot of people watching the game or getting ready to watch the game, which I totally get that. I totally understand. Not a big deal. But I hope everyone has had a wonderful and productive day. It's been a nice one here in Nashville. Been busy all day doing all kinds of stuff. I did this video earlier today. It's pretty interesting. Shout out to Seventh Heaven, the great mod for this channel, for sending me that story that I covered in the video earlier today. It's pretty interesting. We'll go over it again here, just as a way, as a refresher, in case someone didn't see the video I put out earlier. But it was pretty interesting. MKT said these pork chops. That's, ooh, I don't mess with those pork chops, MKT. I don't mess with that pork, man. I don't mess with that pork, man. What's going on, Red Boy? What's going on, Red Boy? Good to see you in here too. But I don't know, man. That food looked pretty good in that picture, MKT. I'm a little jealous. That food looked a little good, man. So yeah, we will talk about that story again, and that whole story was kind of a catalyst for the title for today. But it was a pretty interesting story. Pretty interesting story. Oh man. So the call-in number has changed, and I have that all worked out now. It was a little bit too it was a little bit of an ordeal on the last show, trying to get everything set up for calls, and I apologize for that. But it is all set up now. If you could, guys, as you come in, if you could please like as you come in, I would surely appreciate it. Thank you so much. The call-in number tonight will be 615-270-2094. That is the call-in number going forward. And I will spam that in the chat as well. What's up, Seventh Heaven? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sending me that story. It was pretty hilarious. It was pretty hilarious, man. It was a really good story. And I've been meaning to cover it. She sent it to me a while back, and I've just been so busy that I haven't had time. This was the first video. That was the first video I had done in a really long time. And I've been meaning to get back into doing videos, but I've really just been too busy, and I'll get to a point where I just make time to come home and try to do this live stream, and then I'll get right back out and I'm doing something else. So it was nice to just be able to record and edit and post a video again. It's been a really long time, so I really enjoyed that. Thank you for the story, Seventh Heaven. I appreciate it. What's going on, Marsha? Good to see you in the chat. It's good to see you here. M West, what's going on? Good to see you in here, M West. Maybe the first time I've seen you here in the chat, so appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. So, Let's get this party started, shall we? Let's get this party started, guys. All right, my lifers, it's time to get this thing going. What's going on, Aramis? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, my brother. So, as I said earlier, I was sent this article from Seventh Heaven, our amazing moderator here. And it was pretty interesting. It was a pretty interesting story. Let's look at it really quickly. I'll bring it up. So, it says, cannibal killer slaughtered and ate 23 pizza delivery men, 6 Jehovah's Witnesses, 2 postmen in past 7 years. Now, let's read this story. It says, Houston police have arrested a man believed to be behind the disappearance of no less than 31 persons this past decade. Ivan Fedorovich Yanukovych, 56, could be linked to a number of mysterious disappearances in the area, believe officials. Yanukovych was interrogated by police after neighbors complained about him using a chainsaw late at night and reported the man being quote-unquote covered in blood. When police arrived on the scene, Yanukovych was found butchering a dead body in his garage and preparing what police officers described as quote-unquote large quantities of ground meat mixed with an aromatic blend of spices. Yanukovych, 56, who lives with his mother, Anastasia Z. Yanukovych, 93, and who rents the house basement to a local student, seemed to blend into the community and never arouse suspicion from neighbors. When interrogated by authorities, Yanukovych apparently showed some remorse about killing the delivery men and postmen who were quote-unquote just doing their job, but said the Jehovah's Witnesses quote-unquote really annoyed him and he wished he had taken more out. Tom Duval, a local Jehovah's Witness organization spokesman, said that he is relieved that quote-unquote members of our local chapter can now feel safe and that these courageous souls have not ended in this vile man's belly, but in God's belly. If convicted of his crimes, Ivan Fedorovich Yanukovych faces a maximum prison sentence of 2,675 years in jail, believe experts. Now look at some of the things that people were saying about this guy. I never suspected he was a mass murderer. He would often invite all the neighbors to watch football at his house and host large barbecues for everybody and was super friendly, one neighbor told reporters. Someone else said, he was in charge of organizing our yearly spaghetti dinner fundraiser for the past 5 years and was a key player in the community. I am in utter disbelief, one local YMCA administrative told reporters. The policeman said the suspect admitted to preying on unsuspecting delivery men from local restaurants, several policemen, and even a number of Jehovah's Witnesses. That was Assistant Chief Jeff Buchanan. So, isn't that a very interesting story? Well, the most interesting thing about it, unfortunately and fortunately, is that this story is completely fabricated. It is not true at all. If you look up here at the top of the website, you can see here where it says where facts don't matter. This is a website where they just report phony stories, and unless you unless you are aware that the website is phony, you might think that it's a real story, but the stories in this website are all fake. None of these stories are real. This mugshot that they've shown in this picture has been around for a very long time, so long that people don't even really know who this person is anymore. It was a real mugshot at one time, but it's no longer. No one knows who this person is. So when I got that article, I was like, man, this is crazy. Let me look into it. And so when I found out that it was phony, I was like, okay, it makes a lot more sense now. So, yeah, sorry, Seventh. It was, it wasn't real. I don't know if you knew that or not, but either way, I got a pretty good kick out of reading the story. But it still brought up the question for me, and something that I thought would be interesting to talk about going door to door and being in field service, because I have stories. I remember going out in field service as a child, and I remember times when it was real, like really weird, and felt really unsafe. And you would think, in my child's mind, I would think just because I was, a male, that my presence there would make some kind of difference, even though I was little bitty as hell and couldn't do anything about some danger happening. I just thought, well, I'm a guy, so people will respect the fact that I'm here with these females, and it wouldn't have mattered if somebody wanted to do something to these sisters that I was with. It would have happened. I wouldn't have been able to stop it. But I thought, there were a lot of times when I was young and would be like the only child with all these sisters in service. And there would be times where there would be maybe a few sisters, and then there would be one male elder, I guess, to look over all these sisters. But I specifically remember one time when I was little. I was probably somewhere around 9 or 10, I think. And I remember going in service with my mom, and there was one other sister that was with us. And we knocked on this door. One thing I remember hating about field service, I would always hate stairs when you were going from one floor of an apartment to the other floor, where the stairs had openings between the steps and you could see through them, and they were those little metal rails that always felt real, for me, they always felt real rickety. So I would always get really nervous walking up those types of stairs. So I remember walking up some stairs like that at this apartment complex, and there was nobody there at that one. So then we left that complex. We went to the next place. The next place was this house. And you know how sometimes you can tell a house is dirty before you even go in, because, as a witness, you've seen so many different houses. When you go door to door, you smell so many smells. And I remember us walking up to this house, and I could already smell it. I could smell the inside before we got inside. And I know I'm not the only one. I know y'all remember that. So this dude came to the door, and I remember looking at this man. Now, this is literally, I was about 9 or 10. So this was like 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago. This dude came to the door. He was wearing a tank top, like a wife, what they would call a wife beater. But his stomach was so extended that the tank top was up on his stomach. So his stomach was sticking out and his tank top was exposed over top. His stomach was exposed under the tank top, and he was really dirty. And when he smiled, when he noticed that it was ladies at the door, he smiled. He's like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" And when he smiled, his gums, his mouth was all gums, and then the teeth came out, and the teeth were rotted from the gum line all the way down to almost the very bottom of his teeth. His whole row of teeth was red gums, and then rotten teeth, and a little bit of white at the bottom of those teeth. And he was just, smiling at the sisters that were at the door. And you could smell the smell coming out of his house. And so he invited everybody in. And I'm thinking, I know we not about to go in this dude's house. So we went in this dude's house. And it was early. You go out in field service, and it's early in the morning. So it was a sunny morning. It was sunny outside. So it was bright. No clouds in the sky. It was a very bright morning. We went in this guy's house, and it was as if it was so dirty in the house that the sunlight couldn't even get through. It was as if there was this cloud of dirt in the air. Even though he had windows, it was still dark in his living room. It was the weirdest thing. It was so dirty and dark in his house. And so we sat down, and I remember sitting down, and there were roaches walking on the couch. So I didn't want to move. And I know I'm not the only one. I know all of us have had those experiences where you go out in field service and you go over somebody's house and you see how dirty their house is, and you're thinking, I don't want to get bugs in my bag. I don't want to get bugs in my shoes, in my hair. The sisters are like, I don't want to get bugs in my purse. I don't want to carry none of these bugs home. But we all know you see that type of stuff when you're out in service. So we sat and talked to this dude, and I'm literally the entire time just looking at his teeth and his stomach. And, I wonder if sisters in that position are so, enamored with the truth that they don't realize the positions that they put themselves in, going door to door like that. I mean, it would have been nothing for him to just have closed the door, and then nobody would have really known where anybody was. But I remember us talking to the dude and leaving some magazines with him, and then hurrying up and getting out of the house. But again, I was like 9 or 10 years old, so if something would have went down, there was nothing that I really could have done. It would have just went down. So I'm thinking, what in the world? I know this has to happen all the time. I've heard so many stories about crazy stuff happening to people in field service. So look, guys, I know I'm not the only one that has crazy field service stories. If you guys have a field service story, something that happened to you in service, or something that you've heard that happened in service, let us know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Mikey the Mike says you all need therapy after the bow. What? What are you talking about, Mikey the Mike? If you can come in, like the video for me, please. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it if you could like the video. KB said, what? It's story time? You already missed one story, KB. Miss Bailey too. Hi, Keith. My sister and I got flashed a few times by grown men when we were kids and teenagers. Oh, we got a call. Who we got?
Bailey too. Hi, Keith. My sister and I got flashed a few times by grown men when we were kids and teenagers.
All right, you are on with K Fits My Life. I need you to turn your TV down or your computer down a little bit. I can hear your sound in the phone.
Got it. Hold on. Okay, got it. Hello.
Hey, how are you doing? Who's calling?
Great Dane.
What's up, Great Dane? It's good to hear from you. How's everything going?
It's all good. Got a crazy story that I don't think anyone could match.
All right, let's run it. What you got, Great Dane?
Okay, so this is late 1960s, maybe early 70s.
Okay.
I'm out in service with my mother.
Okay.
She had already placed a couple, I don't know, books or magazines, and they had traded cans of peas. And I remember this specifically, cans of peas, because they couldn't afford to pay us for the magazines.
So they gave you some cans of peas to pay for the magazines?
Yes.
Wow.
So now we're back for a book study.
Okay.
It's me and and I'm going to say quote unquote long story, mother. And we are there for the book study.
Mm-hmm.
And, where I'm from is less an affluent area, let's just say. Very low income, scraping by kind of place.
Okay.
So she's got a couple boys running around. And I'm just sitting through the book study because I'm just, I don't know, 5, 6 years old.
Okay.
We go home and I'm like, those kids got some outie belly buttons, man.
Okay.
And she's like, yes, they have outie belly buttons.
Okay.
What I didn't know for literally decades later, they didn't have pants on and it wasn't their belly buttons. But I had no idea because I was so ignorant. I was maybe 15 or 16 before I saw like statues, like, David and like those marble statues that had like men's things, because I didn't know nothing about it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That was an introduction, and an intriguing, I guess, concept that took me a long time to understand. Just want to add that to your conversation.
Wow. How many times do you think that happened to you?
That specific situation, never.
Oh, okay.
But it was just, there were so many things that we were not told about, we didn't experience, I had no idea about. I was in my late teens before I had actually seen what a man has.
Okay.
And to be so ignorant for so long cost me a lot of I don't want to say experience, but it was difficult to try to come to terms with.
Interesting.
I just think that maybe a future episode of yours might be how the organization kept us ignorant just about humanity, because, I didn't know anything about, I don't know, sex or relationships even, or whatever. I had no clue because I was so sheltered, unindoctrinated, didn't understand how the world works. One of the abuses, everyone, all these channels keep talking about sexual abuse. It is horrid, it is bad, and unacceptable, of course. But another abuse is just how ignorant we were kept about humanity and how things work.
Yep.
Anyway, just calling in, and I'll watch the remaining part of your program. Thank you.
Thank you, Great Dane. We're going to talk about what you talked about, too. You made some really good points. We're going to keep talking about a couple of those, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Great Dane. As always, a pleasure having you call in. Always a pleasure. Now, she is right, and that is something I think that we have talked about before on the show, is the general lack of ignorance of the world that occurs from being in the organization, which is why a lot of the videos I've done have been on, topics like, of course, we did do one show about sex, but we did a show about politics. We did a show about mental health. We've had shows that were about a lot more than just the organization. It's always good to talk about more than just that, because there were so many things that, like she said, kept us in a box and ignorant of the way the world works. So, yeah, I agree with that. Great, Dane. I appreciate it. Let's look at the chat, guys. Now, don't tell all your great stories in the chat, guys. Come on, call in. Don't let Great Dane be the only one who ever calls in. And let's have some good conversations. Now, I know you guys got some really good stories. Now, I'll tell y'all another story here in a minute. Miss Bailey said one guy actually came to the door in a robe. Okay. KP said, I responded to it. She said, in a robe, people in our territory used to come to the door nude. I've never seen anybody in my territory come to the door nude. I never saw that. What's up, JJ Jr.? M. West says you're kept in a box. That is true. AKA Perez says, I was invited to a sister's house for dinner one evening when it got dark. Oh, hold on. Let's go to this. Let's see. You're on the K Fits My Life show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, this is Nelson.
What's going on?
From the
What's going on, Nelson?
Not too much, brother. Not too much.
What you got for us tonight? What you got for us tonight, brother?
Hey, man, I just wanted to, speak about is it dangerous to going door to door. Hold on, let me turn my thing down.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's going on, man? What's going on, Nelson? Not too much, brother. Not too much. What you got? That's better, right?
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, no, so I was just going to say, speaking on your topic, is going door to door dangerous? I mean, I think it's going to get even more dangerous as time goes on. People are a lot more guarded now. People come into their homes, come into their door. and everybody is very suspicious, especially in, the metropolitan areas where people don't know who you are.
Right.
And people use Jehovah's Witnesses as a scam. And what I mean by that, they'll pretend like they're Jehovah's Witnesses and scout out neighborhoods and do different things. So you don't know who is who. So I think it's going to get even more dangerous for witnesses to go door to door as time goes on, because, I mean, if you can even see, they're doing a lot more cart witnessing. I'm in the ATL, but, I moved here from New York City, and, it was dangerous just going out back during the crack era when that was real heavy and whatnot, just from the violence that was in the neighborhood. But now people behind the door are nervous, and they don't know who you are, and they could do something to you. So I at some point, I think that will happen to a witness if it hasn't already happened. And there will be some major changes the society will have to make to keep the witnesses safe. That's my point of view.
That is a great point, Nelson. Hey, I appreciate that call, brother. That was very good. We're going to talk about that, man.
Okay. All right. Keep up the good work, brother.
Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Take care.
All right. Great comment, guys. Yeah, that is a very, very good point. I never really thought about people using Jehovah's Witnesses names as a way to manipulate and find information out on people. Yeah, that brother is we talked on the other show, man. We all talked after that show. I was like, brother, you are a walking dictionary. But yeah, I think so. But yeah, very good point, man. What do you guys, and I noticed that as well, that there seems to be a lot more cart witnessing. When the NFL draft was here in Nashville, there were carts on every corner downtown. It was like they were trying to capitalize on the situation. And I get that they are, quote unquote, trying to reach people with God's word. But setting up carts downtown because the NFL draft is in town, and so you want to get as many carts downtown as possible, that just seems real shiesty to me. That seems so, I want to say immoral, but then we're talking about the Watchtower. But it just seems so opportunistic to me. But I would agree with Nelson that I think it's getting more and more dangerous for witnesses to go door to door. Especially, I don't know if you guys have read about, in some places they are making the taking of notes for the people that the Jehovah's Witnesses talk to illegal, because it's an invasion of privacy. It's a privacy problem. Taking down someone's name and address and phone number and little points about them so they can make it so they can make return visits. They've been told that they can no longer do that in some places. So that's an issue too. And I think, like Nelson said, the cart makes it less invasive because they feel like people are coming up to them. But it does seem like, oh, we got another call. Let's see what this is. All right, you're on the K Fits My Life show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, this is AKA Perez.
What's up, Perez?
I have a couple of stories here.
All right, run it.
I wanted to say that some of my first experiences were not the filthiness of the people, even though I know this is what the topic is, of going door to door, but it was the witnesses themselves.
Okay.
And one of the first stories that I wanted to share was when I was, quite young. I was invited over to a sister's house along with a couple of my friends. We were all in our 20s at the time.
Okay.
And it must have been around Thanksgiving because she made this really, really gorgeous Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so we go over there. Her house, I didn't really inspect it. I was in my early 20s, but it didn't seem filthy. So we sit down, we eat this gorgeous meal, and we chat a little bit. And then all of a sudden, she gets up. I look at the walls, and no kidding, thousands, I might have said hundreds, something, but thousands of silverfish started swarming this one wall. And I look at my friends, and my friends look at me, and all of a sudden she takes out this fly swatter, and I'm telling you, she starts swatting at these silverfish with a vengeance, and just like it was like it must have been an everyday thing, but like not for us, And so needless to say, not only did we all feel like we needed to throw up our dinners, but we also made a quick exit, out the door. And coming to find out later, we were invited to this family. They were a family of schizophrenics.
Really?
JW schizophrenics, yes. In fact, her daughter, we ended up visiting her at the time where, it was kind of during the Reagan era, where before the mental institutions were emptied, where they at least evaluated them and kept them for a while. And yeah, she was totally schizophrenic. It was just the most bizarre thing. But I thought, oh my gosh, that was such one of the most bizarre experiences that I had. Another one was, and this is not so bizarre, but you know how witnesses are supposed to be known for their cleanliness, and this one lady, she used to make wedding dresses for everybody. They just, and her children were so immaculate, immaculately dressed. Well, we go over to the house, and the house is kind of in a shambles. The yards are not kept up. The vans and the cars were decent at the time, but now they still live in the same area, and 40, 50 years later, they still have the same cars. They still have the same house. It still has not been painted on the outside. And I'm thinking, and you're representing Jehovah?
Wow.
It's just crazy. Now, the one... I'm sorry, I know I just keep yapping.
No, go ahead. You got time.
The other one, this was when I was going out actually from door to door, and this little old man who owned a fig, I guess, ranch or farm or whatever, he planted fig trees all over the place.
Okay. So
anyway, he always invited me in. And there was a couple of times where I just thought that he was this nice little old man, so completely harmless. Well, he would always invite me in, like, well, come on in, And so I would go on in, and I was placing these magazines right and left. And every time I would walk in, I would feel like this hand brushing up my bottom side, or I thought, well, I must be running into the refrigerator or the walls or something, So I brought one of my friends with me one time because I'm thinking, you know what, I don't know, something just seems weird about this guy, but he's so old, he's got to be innocent, And my little friend, her name was Lulu at the time, she went with me and she said, oh, no, honey. She said, the older the bull, the stiffer the you-know-what. So anyway, needless to say, that was probably one of the last times, or was the last time that I ever went from door to door with that guy's house. But apparently that guy was brushing his hand up against my my rump as I was walking through the house, trying to witness to him, thinking that he was just this really sincere older man, and apparently he really wasn't.
So you didn't realize that was his hand touching your butt?
I have to tell you, no, because at the time, I have to tell you, I was pretty much born into the organization, and I think on so many levels, I really was just numb. I really didn't do much critical thinking. I believed everything hook, line, and sinker there for a while.
But your butt cheeks weren't numb. You know what a hand on your butt cheeks feels like.
Hey, but back in the day too, I was also wearing one of those dresses, the prairie look, so I was kind of covered with a few slips too.
Okay,
so
I got you.
With the little gathered stuff here and there at the waistline, and those Christian skirts and stuff at the time. It really was something, I'm telling you.
All right.
But anyway.
All right.
My story.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, you take care.
All right, bye-bye. All right, another good story. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think you knew his hand was on your booty, and you was kind of like I don't know if I should let everybody, I don't know if I should let him know, but I kind of like it when he rub your booty like that. Like, I think you just denying it. You denying it. See, you denying it. I'm just messing with you. Don't get mad at me. What were we talking about? So I think we're talking about something. Oh, all right, calls. Appreciate y'all tonight. You are on the K Fits My Life show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Who is this?
This is Marcia from Chicago.
What's going on, Marcia?
Well, I kind of want to touch on everything that's been discussed tonight about how sheltered we were. And we really were. We didn't know much about our body, much about sex. I have one experience that I remember, and I'm in my 60s, and I can remember this from when I was a little girl. We used to go door-to-door witnessing before the book study in the evening, like 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the evening. And I was about 7, and I was going out with my mom, but I had always only worked with my mother.
Okay.
And I remember this particular night, I was forced to go with a brother.
Okay.
And he was probably about 35, maybe. Don't know if he was married. I don't remember. But I can remember that I made a stink, and I sat down on the pavement, on the sidewalk, and I just cried my eyes out. Because to me, this guy was a stranger, for one thing, and he was a man. And I'm just, even relating to Great Dane's story, we were so sheltered. And then to have something like this pushed on you, that you have to learn to work with other people out in the ministry. You can't go out only with your mother. And I'm just thinking, I don't think that would fly today, would it? With the pedophilia going on in the congregations, would they do that? Are they still doing that?
I'm sure they are, especially if they don't want to even admit that it's happening. I don't understand. I don't think they would even change their things that they're doing. Changing what they're doing would be an admission that something is wrong, and they can't do that. So they have to continue doing the same thing.
But this was so traumatic that 50 years later I still remember it, and I wish they had taught us a little better about the anatomy, our bodies of others, because we didn't know anything.
Right.
Especially if you were raised in the truth.
Right.
You didn't know anything.
Right. That's true.
I can remember after I had a child and I was taking my little boy to the Kingdom Hall, we were talking to the sister. She was pregnant. He goes and he pulls her skirt up and he says, "I want to see the baby." So, I mean, as ridiculous as that is, we're not taught about those things in the organization. And I think it leaves us very handicapped. It leaves the little ones, the children, handicapped as to what they could be facing in the world. And I don't think it's fair to them.
You're exactly right. I think we talked about that on my last show. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So, I got many stories, but I remember this one because I I cried so much. I didn't want to go with this man that I didn't know.
Right.
And
I can understand that.
I had my little tantrum and then I did, but I didn't like it.
Well, thank you for calling and sharing that story. I really appreciate that.
Okay, brother. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Man. Great talk, man. Great talk. And that is true. I remember, don't you guys remember the talks I used to give about that? About how you should branch out in your ministry and work with people you haven't worked with before. And I remember I would always want to work with a particular person. The elder would be like, "No, you're going to work with this person or you're going to work with that person." It is crazy. It is crazy. I remember one other thing that she was speaking about, dang, it was right on the tip of my tongue. It'll come back to me in a little bit. Yeah, up the skirt part. I was like, whoa, for real? I would have got the taste slapped out of my mouth for doing something like that. But yeah, the whole thing about not being prepared for the world is something that I was talking about, I think, on the last stream, is that, we are so shielded from the world, especially, I can only speak from a male's perspective, especially the men. You are made such so weak and meek, I guess is the word that I'm looking for, that you don't realize that the men who are in the world, the men who are really out there are not like that. And it's an easy way for you to get devoured out here, because these dudes, the men in the world, man, they don't have that same programming. So there's that dog eat dog world out there, and you've been ill prepared for it. You're gonna get eaten. So yeah, I totally understand. It makes you very ill prepared for the world. The amount of sheltering that happens in the organization makes you very, very ill prepared for the world as it is. I remember one time we were at this hotel. I think we were at a convention. And you know how they make you wear those ridiculous name tags. So I'm wearing my name tag, and everybody's wearing their name tag. They had gotten late, and I think we had either just gotten back from the assembly, and it was dark already, and people were already coming in. We're trying to find our rooms. I remember this one time. Everybody was walking past the pool area because everybody wanted to go swimming, but we had to go home and change. So we're going to our room. And there was this one room that was right by the pool, and the windows were wide open, and there was this couple in the window naked. And I think they were just trying to find somebody to come in and join them. And everybody kept walking by thinking, like, what is up with this couple right here? What? I mean, and they just kept it open all night. They kept trying to find somebody to come in and join them. I've never had anything like that happen out in the field service. But I'll tell you guys another story. There was this rumor about this house off of Gallatin Road here in Nashville. And nobody would go to that house. Anytime we would go out in field service, everyone would always just skip over this house. And for a long time, I was too young. They wouldn't tell me why. So one day, I guess I had finally gotten old enough to hear this story. And I said, what is it about this house? I said, why don't we ever go to this house? And she said, Mikey the Mike said, so did you? No. I said, why don't we ever go to this house? She said, well, this sister, supposedly this is a sister that my mother actually knew. This sister went to this house, and when she opened the door, when the lady came to the door, she was possessed by a demon, and she was floating and saying all these crazy things. And so I guess the sister just closed the door, and and she wrote on her little notes, 2201 Gallatin Road, demon possessed woman floating at the door. No, she doesn't want a return visit. No publications, no Bible study, no return visit. And so after that day, nobody would ever go to that house again. That's another one of my crazy field service stories. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I try to listen to the callers, and I missed the chat. Let's see what's going on. Seventh Heaven says it shouldn't fly, but it will because they can't or won't let it be known that there are pedos in the org. That's true. Mikey the Mike says, yes, they are the normal looking ones who they meet on the door. Okay. Great Dan says the up the skirt story. I know, right? JJ Jr. says, I just truly don't understand how folk could be fooled into beliefs like JWs. It's easier than you think. Mikey the Mike says they get people who are at a low point or after trauma or who are born into it. Great Dane says, I totally believed it all 100%. Yes, I know it's stupid, but it's all I knew. Exactly. If that's all you know, then it's all you know. You don't know that you don't know. Or you don't know that what you think you know is not true. Miss Bailey, too, says, I used to go to church as a child, and when my mom met the JWs, they impressed us because they used the Bible in worship, taught us how to look up scriptures, and answered our basic questions about life. Interesting. Alicia says, hey y'all, good call, Marsha. Remember the Candace Conti lawsuit? Her parents were letting her regularly go in service with an elder, the very elder who was molesting her. That is true. JJ Jr. says, Great Dane, I understand that. However, I don't get how they get stuck after singing the foolishness. JJR, what you don't understand is if it's something that it's all you know and you believe it to be true, you don't see the foolishness because you don't think it's foolishness. You think it's the truth. You know, it's much, hindsight is always 20/20, and someone who's on the outside who doesn't know what it really is like is going to be able to say, well, you know, how could you not see it? But you don't understand if you're not in there. I mean, I am so far from the Jehovah's Witness organization way of thinking now, but I remember when I was in it. I remember how it felt when I was in it and how much I believed everything. I remember it's not that long ago, really, in the span of time. It's really only about 20 years ago that I was still a Jehovah's Witness. So it's not that hard to remember what it was like to be indoctrinated. And it's easier than you think. I'll put it like this, JJ Jr. There are a lot of people who are indoctrinated by a lot of different things. It's not just the Watchtower who is indoctrinating people. There are lots of different types of indoctrinations that are happening in the world today, especially here in America. And it may be something that you don't necessarily view as indoctrination because you believe it. So just because you don't see how people are falling for the sort of indoctrination that goes along with the Watchtower, think about how you may see indoctrination in other ways in the country that don't necessarily involve this type of indoctrination. But indoctrination happens on many levels, in many different ways in the country, not just religion. What's going on, Willow B? What's going on, Latanya Smith? I know, right? Levitation. Miss Bailey says, one time when I was a kid, let me put the number back up, just in case somebody wants to call in, share some more sto-ries. Hold on, guys. 615-270-2094. Goodness gracious, I don't know where that Z is coming from. Hold on. Let's do that. Here we go. Miss Bailey says, one time when I was a kid, me and my mom went to this house. Lady claimed to study before. She knew few elders' names. Meanwhile, we heard these loud crashes behind the doors. She claims it was a dog. What? Miss Bailey, too. In the past, everything made sense, and in recent years, things started getting weird. I experienced severe harassment from JWs, and that made me question the truth. Miss Bailey, continuing on the last statement, says, I think it was some demonic force there. Felt real creepy. Never saw a dog. Couldn't wait to leave. Man, she might have been eating people. It might have been... Whew, that's weird. Miss Bailey, too, didn't bother to fact check because I didn't know about the corruption, lies, misinformation, scandals. Everything is hidden from. Praise Yah for YouTube. Red Boy, any updates on your meetup? Yep, I'll share some little updates here a little bit later on. Bon Bosa says, exactly, there are many cults, religious, political, weird, philosophical cults like Scientology. Miss Betty said, it sounded like something was trying to get in, like they didn't want us talking to her. If it was a dog, I heard no scratching, loud crashes against the door. Wow. JJ Jr., respect. I still entertain JWs today just to see if they could think outside the organization. Respect, fam. Definitely. Mikey the Mike. Excellent point about indoctrination. We accept what the majority accept without finding our own evidence. Exactly, Mikey the Mike. So if you can see it in other ways like that, then relate that to the way people are indoctrinated into the organization. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. So when you look at it from that aspect, it's not hard to believe how people are indoctrinated. So yeah, appreciate that comment, Mikey the Mike. Appreciate that comment. Guys, if anybody else has any stories, the call-in number is 615-270-2094. That is 615-270-2094. Got 21 watching and 21 likes. I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the great calls today. It's been a good show already. We've had some great calls. Thank you guys for that. So yeah, man. There was something else I was going to talk about tonight, and it will come to me here in a moment. But for a moment, I really thought that story was real. And I was thinking, man, why haven't I heard about this story? Mikey the Mike said, more demon stories. I know, right? Those are always hilarious. Let's see who we got here. You are on the K Fits My Life show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Latanya Smith from Battle Creek, Michigan.
What's going on, Latanya? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. What you got for us? What's on your mind?
When I saw your title, a lot of stuff went through my mind.
Okay.
There are 3 instances where I could tell you me and the sister that I lived with, whom I call Ma, went out and made return visits, and 2 of those instances, 3 of them were drug situation.
Okay.
And one of them, I wasn't with her on this. The one she told me about when she was with her and her husband, they were making a return visit on this couple, and as soon as they left, I mean, like maybe a half hour after they left, some other opposing drug dealers or something came and shot up the place. Damn. and they found the baby just wandering the streets in the middle of the night.
Damn.
And yeah, they had just left like a half an hour before it happened. And another situation that me and Ma was on is, I don't know if anybody knows anything about different groups who get together who plan to overthrow the government. and they're just in there planning and doing whatever they do in there. Well, we called on some people and had the nerve to set up a return visit. But when we got there, they were telling us about it, and I guess they figured because we were Jehovah's Witnesses, we weren't the ones going to be saying anything. But we went into their apartment, you know, giving our presentation and everything. And of course, we had so much we wanted to tell them. But when we got in there, I tell you what, that place was full of weed, and there was guns everywhere.
Are you serious?
They had them hanging on the wall. They had them. I saw one, like the part where you're holding. I saw like 2 or 3 of them behind a couch, and some laying on the couch, and we're like, okay, we're gonna be in the paradise. Just that together. I'm not worried about the stupid thing, but we got out of there, but we had this is where, like, the other callers were calling in and saying how you don't know when you should be afraid of something. This is one of them. But because they could have, like, well, we didn't give them our information or anything, but we got out of there and we got home. We didn't go home. Our clothes were so full of weed, it was not a good thing to meet back with the but it was one of those days where we got out in the ministry. You know how they wanted you sometimes to get out like 7 a.m. to do pre-morning witnessing before meeting. And then we met and then went out in the ministry again and then worked until 7 and 8 at night. We call those long days out in the ministry. It was one of those days when we met these people, and it seemed like it was around 6 or 7 because it was summertime.
Okay.
And that's where we were there for like a half an hour, and by the time we got out of there, oh my goodness, we went home and we really thought about it and thought to ourselves, you know what? We're not going back there. We're not going back there.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that you just were unaware of the danger, or that you just thought that since you were a Jehovah's Witness and you were out in service, that no matter the situation, Jehovah wouldn't let something happen to you?
I tell you what, for me, I think that might be what it is for some of them, because for a while I thought that, but when I started hearing stories of when some 1 or 2 instances when people have gone to the door that was not in our area at all, that went to the door and a person shot that person, and then later on that person ended up coming into the cult, because you're supposed to forgive and all of that and keep working. I just don't understand for the life of me when I look back how they would even, but so I started to learn more and more as I was in the cult longer that it is really, truly dangerous. But I think for a lot of them, I think they do believe that.
Okay.
And for some odd reason, I still believe that he would protect me. It's the stupidest thing ever. And then I came upon another situation where I was with a pioneer sister who she was starting she had started a Bible study with this lady, and her son was serving time in prison, and he got out and was with her, but he was really disrespectful to her, cussing her out, and we caught him coming out of the door saying, why don't you die, you effing B? I mean, he was just so really mad, but he was a major drug lord there.
Wow.
And we didn't know it.
Wow.
I didn't find out until when we got back home. The sister called me and told me, and because she just found out, because she wanted us to go to trial with her, and we were like, no, we aren't. We're not going to have the target on our back. But yeah, he's a major drug lord.
Well, it sounds
And
like
he
you
is
guys
still,
really dodged a bullet with that one.
you know,
Literally.
yeah, and this stuff should be something to wake you up, but it doesn't. Yeah, and there's some other stories I can tell, but I don't want to take up a bunch of time. But
Well, I
there's
like
real
that. I
stuff.
like that point that you just brought up. I think that's something that we should talk about a little bit more right now. We're gonna keep talking about this thing that you just brought up because it's a very, very good point. We're gonna
Yeah.
explore this a little bit more. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, because it's like a couple of those times we were just sitting in a middle nest of them, conducting a freaking Bible study.
Right.
And it's like I don't know. This is where, like you were mentioning earlier, one or two videos ago, things that they should be afraid of, they're not. And things that they aren't afraid of, they should be afraid of. They should be, peeing their pants or something because they're really bad situations.
Right.
These drug lords, they're not stupid people. They know how to find people.
Right.
And we were in the middle of that.
All right. Well, look, thank you for calling. We're gonna keep talking. We're gonna talk about this a little bit more. So you're gonna stay in the chat?
Yes.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
let's let everybody talk about this. Thank you for calling, Latanya.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Great call. So let's explore that a little bit, guys, because that is a very valid question. A very valid question. Okay, hold on. Got another call. Here we go. You are on the K Fits My Life show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, Keith, it's Miss Bailey.
Hey, what's going on, Miss Bailey?
Yeah, how you doing?
Oh my goodness, you actually had you calling up.
I know. The last caller made me think of some experiences. It happened all in Philly.
Okay.
So, my mom, when she first came to church, when she first got baptized, one of her first experiences in field service ever, she had a couple of crazy things happen to her. Okay, number one time she went to this neighborhood and it was like all white, and we didn't really know it. Like, it was in the area of Philly we lived in, but we didn't know the neighborhood real well.
Okay.
So my mom was going door to door. I didn't go by order that morning because I probably was in school or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this man, he went to the door, and this man took a shotgun out, and he pointed it at my mom and whoever was at the door with her. And he was like screaming and cursing and telling her to get off the porch and she better run. And it was crazy. He actually pulled out like a gun.
Wow.
And threatened her. And then another time, I know, it's crazy. And you know what's crazy? My mom never reported none of that stuff like to the police or anything.
Really?
She was just threatened. Mm-hmm. She was threatened. And then another time, this is the one that was really scary.
Okay.
My mom, to me, she should have got scared more so over the gun situation, whatever, but they just left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they left the area. But my mom was chased by these dogs. And I don't know, it was like aggressive breed or something.
Okay.
To this day, my mom is so afraid of dogs. Like, even if they're not even threatening her, she will actually have like a panic attack if she see dogs.
Really?
She don't like any kind of dog. She don't like her neighbors having dogs. Nothing. And like my mom will actually have like this anxiety, and I can't even explain it. This is like over 20 years ago. This happened like in the early 90s.
But you know, so many people get chased and attacked by dogs and out in field service. I used to be afraid of dogs because of that too when I was little, because you would always end up at somebody's house and you go through the yard and you wouldn't know that it had that little side part, and the dog comes from the backyard and it's on your ass and you don't have anywhere to go.
I know, but that happens to us a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Like if we went on property, you know how you might be looking for, okay, like in Philly they have a lot of houses with porches on them or whatever,
mm-hmm.
or a lot of people don't use their front entrance or whatever.
Right.
So you might have, like with the suburbs, they might not go in their front entrance. They might go through like a side door or like a back door. So a lot of times we would open them up, like the gates, to see if they had, we try to like shake the gate, see if a dog will come running, but we had to open the gate to get to the door. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And people was purposely sending their dogs after us.
Man, I remember those days.
Yeah.
Oh man, those
and
are...
it's like we just never, like the last caller said, we never, like, we should have been afraid. First off, we were going on people's personal property, uninvited, and we should have been afraid that something was going to happen to us.
I agree.
You know, and it's just like we didn't. I don't know why. We just didn't care. We just always felt like, oh, Jehovah will protect us, or, you know.
Exactly.
And it was just being naive. We could have put ourselves in danger so many times.
Exactly. Very good point. Very good point. Thanks for calling, Miss Bailey.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
Great call, guys. Great call. That is such a good point that she just made. And that's why I asked the question. What was it that made us feel so comfortable to go to these strangers' doors and talk to them like that? How many times did we put ourselves in a position that was a truly dangerous situation, especially, like she said, with dogs? And again, like she said, I remember us going to people's fences and jiggling the fence to see if a dog was going to come out. And I was afraid of dogs for a while, just simply because how many times they used to charge at us when we'd be out in field service. So I totally get what she was saying, but what do you guys think? What are some of the reasons that we felt so safe or so secure that nothing bad was going to happen to us when we're out in field service? Is it because we really thought that since we were doing what we thought Jehovah wanted us to do, that there would never be any negative consequences of going out in field service? Do the things that we think, I wonder if the things that could have happened back then are still able to happen now, or is it much worse now? Can much worse things happen, or are we in a time where it's less likely for something horrible to happen to us or to them while they're going from door to door? What are your thoughts about that? Why do you think we felt that way? Miss Bay 2 says, my mom was young then, so she ran. Oh, man. Yeah, I remember those days. I mean, I remember one time my daughter was, and not even just danger from things like that, just the heat, being out walking all day in the heat. I think my daughter passed out one day, and she called me and was like, yeah, I passed out, out in field service. And I was like, why? What happened? And she literally, passed out. It's not drinking enough water, being out in the heat, walking around all day, talking to all these crazy people. There are a lot of issues that can happen from going door to door. Like she said, you might even end up with some jerk as a partner. You have somebody that's pumping you for information, and now they may use that information against you. 7 says, I used to wonder if they really did have angels with them, like the story I told earlier about my friend's mother who nearly got raped. She was a fat woman and hid in that man's basement behind a pole. Okay, I want to try to ask this question without being a complete ass. But how does a fat person hide behind a pole? The pole must have been a fat pole, right? He was looking for her and could not see her standing right there by this tiny pole. Wow. Miss Bailey 2 says, in the past 10 years, I have been threatened, cursed out, and followed by a black truck after leaving the territory. Strange and creepy. Miss Bailey, weren't you talking to us about somebody following you a long time ago, and your mother What is up with y'all getting followed so much? Miss Bailey, y'all got big booties. Is that what it is? Y'all got big booties, and everybody just want to see y'all booty. JJ Jr. says, I don't call these stories are so dangerous. The creator of all knows us all personally. The Most High has hands on us all, lost or so-called Okay, JJR, you made that really difficult for me. Airman says, yeah, my pops is really devoted to his field service. We don't talk much, but I worry about him because he has MS. He goes with his wife, but I still worry when I think about it. I agree with that. 100%, Aramis. It's the same thing with my father. Even though we're not talking, I know he has cancer, and they still ask him to go out in service and clean the hall and cut the grass. And I'm thinking, this man has cancer. Why are you asking him to do all this stuff? Alicia says, and yet there were certain really dangerous apartments that the sisters were not allowed to work without the brothers. Really? Miss Bailey says, yes, we walked in the hoods of Philly doing street work. Could have gotten shot, robbed, beat up. Yep. Latanya Smith says, I think the watchtower, is responsible for the false sense of security. If we die, we get a resurrection. Very good point, Latanya. Very good point. The watchtower is responsible for a false sense of security. If you die, you get a resurrection. So what you worried about it for? Go out there and get knocked upside your head slinging these watchtowers. You'll be all right. That's a very good point, Latanya. Miss Bailey says, people stalk and harass us all the time. Your aunt ain't crazy. Mainly JW stalking. Not sure why they do it. Just a regular person. Well, I am sorry you are getting stalked so much, Miss Bailey's. I am sorry y'all get stalked so much. Why y'all laughing at me tonight? I'm just playing. Those were JW stalking us nosy brothers. The black truck was in an area very hostile to witnesses. I had horrible experiences in service and did cart work until I got disfellowshipped. How'd you get disfellowship, Miss Bailey? What happened? I think we talked about that on the show about when everybody was talking about their disfellowshipping stories. I think we already talked about it. Yeah, that sucks, man. That really sucks. Why y'all laughing at me? I'm just saying they might have some big booty. That's why people follow them all the time. I mean, I'm just saying, you just never know, man. You know, nothing gonna make nothing make a man follow a woman quicker than if she got a big booty. Miss Bailey says, hey, we either laugh or we cry. Hey, I get it. Trust me, I've had some nights where I had to just laugh it off to keep from crying. All right. 7 says, this resurrection, I think, is what keeps my mom stuck in the org. My brother went to Africa to serve where the need was great, and he got murdered there. Really? She wants to see him again at the resurrection. That is horrible, 7th. That is horrible. Keith, you're funny, bro. I know you're doing, but you can say some funny stuff. I'm hoping that I can make it to the meetup so that I can film. I'm sure I'll capture some funny stuff. Yeah, it should be. See? Miss Bailey says I do have big assets, but that can't be it. See? Now see? Now I'm just saying, Miss Bailey. Now look. As a man, how you think I guessed that? How you think I guessed that? You always talking about getting followed. 9 times out of 10, you got a big ass. You got a nice ass, and people are like, you do that thing when a girl walk by, So this is how I used to get this. Well, I still look at women, but this is what I would do. You know how you can see a girl walking towards you, and you can see her walking towards you, and you already know from her physique walking towards you that she has a fatty. So what you do is you already see her coming. So instead of turning your head when she walked by, you just go ahead and turn around before she walked by you. So you already looking in the direction of it, right? So, so you just go ahead, you see her coming, you're like, oh yeah, I can see it from the front. Let's go and get ready. Let's go and get ready for it. Then they come on by. See, now you ain't gotta turn your head, look like, a perv. You already looking. You're like, yeah, I called that one. And so then you start thinking, hold up. Let me think of some reason why I can keep walking that way so I can just see it in motion a little bit too. So then you'll start walking, good and well where you was going was this way, right? Where you was going was this way. But now you got some incentive to go this way, even though there's nothing for you that way. But you just go ahead and start walking on down that way. So you can look at this booty a little bit longer. So that's what happened, Miss Bailey. You just got a nice booty. That's probably all it is. Miss Bailey, are we IG friends? Follow me on Insta, Miss Bailey, so I can see exactly what's going on with it. I don't know it. Let me just give you my opinion, as a friend of exactly, what's going on with your booty. Cause I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. So just follow me on IG. It's fine. Just follow me. Just hit me up. Let's follow me on Insta. There you go. I'm just trying to be helpful, self-care boss. What do you mean, man? I am only trying to be helpful. But I was right. You see that? I was right. I don't know her from Adam, but I was totally right. See? That's just men. That's just how men, we just know. We just already know instinctively. Oh, that was great. Thank you, Miss Baylor. That was a great segue, a tangent to go on. I didn't know we were friends on Insta, Miss Baylor. What is your I don't even know what your name is on Instagram, I don't think. I didn't know we were I didn't even know we were friends, Miss Bailey. Maybe let me know if you are already following me, just like shoot me something so I know what your name is on Insta, just like a message or something. 'Cause I didn't even know that we were Insta friends, or I was following you on Insta. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Let's see. See what we're working with. Well, I mean, I'm so busy. I don't really have time to really just be looking at booties on Instagram, but I'll take a few minutes right now and check out a couple booties. It's booty time. Let's look at booty time. Okay. So are you two the ones in the purple shirts and the white pants doing the cha-cha slide? Actually, I know who is who. Um, I'm gonna have to stop looking at this video because I can't see anything except the backside of people, and I wait a minute. Yeah, we are twins, but I am not on the gram. Okay, got that. But what I'm asking is, are you two the ones that are in the white pants, white jeans, and the purple shirts, or what colors are you guys wearing? Or are you in this? Are y'all in this cha-cha slide video? Or is that somebody else? I see. I don't really see, like, you don't really y'all see, y'all are some chaste. Y'all are very chaste, very modest. You don't have any crazy booty twerking pics. See, y'all so chaste and lovable and humble. See, y'all doing what y'all supposed to do. Y'all doing just like Terry, you're doing what Terry told you to do. Okay. Okay. And I see you. Okay. I see y'all. I see y'all. Yeah, see, y'all got those undercover. Well, y'all probably got them undercover booties. That's what that is. I don't know. It's one of those women in that cha-cha slide video. See, that's all right. Y'all got people following y'all because y'all look good. That's what you on the low. You on the low. On the low, you trying to act like you don't know people following y'all because you're saying they trying to get y'all's phone number. You like, no, thank you. Jehovah said I can't give you my phone number. Jesus changed my number. Okay, JJ Jr. says, sorry, Kay, I meant to say I don't think all the stories are that bad. The Most High gives us signs when something isn't right. We're always protected by the Most High, even in our lost stages in life. Delivery 7 says, I saw a wiener dog run up behind a tall young brother, paused, and then jumped up a bit and bit him in the ass. Very funny, but not for him. I would imagine not. All I know is on that cha-cha slide video that was a couple. It was a couple of. I almost dropped my phone a couple times. The video is from a bridal shower. Okay, all right. I'm gonna bite my tongue on that. I'm not gonna say anything else. Love and success follows me, says in this time and age it is dangerous. It is. I would imagine it's very dangerous. I mean, I delivered packages for Amazon for a while, and that was dangerous as hell. And this was my first time, going door to door for anything since I had left the organization. And most of the time it was really nothing. But there were times when, there were dogs. People look at you funny, like, why are you on their porch? I almost got into it with this guy one time. But nothing on the steady basis of like field service, because even with just delivering things for Amazon, you don't have to talk to anybody. You just drop a box on their porch and take a picture and leave. But with going door to door, it's actual human interaction. You just have to wait for somebody to be there, and now you're talking to someone, and then that person may invite you in, and now you're in this person's house, and they know their home much better than you do. You don't know anything about this place or this person. So I would imagine if this would be something that would go away before too long. I don't see going door to door being something that's just going to happen for a very long time. If it has to go away at some point. Red Boy, thank you so much. You always donate, man. And then you and Michelle, you guys both always donate to the show. I appreciate you both so much, man. Thank you so much for supporting my show and my channel. I really appreciate it, guys. I can't thank you enough, man. I mean, just the fact of someone wanting to send 50 cents is a huge compliment to me, and I really appreciate it, guys. I mean, thank you so much. I really want to get to a point where I do this, all the time, and it's more of a real thing that I can do several times a day. So your donations and just actually coming into the show and watching and liking, it all helps all of that to happen. So thank you so much, Red Boy and Michelle Lynn, for donating. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Miss Bailey 2 says, my mom does cart work because she has very bad knees now. The JW said people kicked over the carts. I don't know why that was so funny. The JW said people kicked over the carts, and the elder said to run if anyone became violent and threatening. Well, where are you gonna run to? Didn't they say the preaching work was done? You mean as in they found everybody, or they're just not doing it anymore? So they don't go door to door anymore? Jehovah's Witnesses don't go door to door anymore? I mean, isn't that something that they were, one of the things that they were so proud of, that they are the only people on the planet that go door to door and bother people? Let me know about that. If the preaching work is done, let me know. I would like to know about that. I didn't know. Airman said, you've been sleeping on it, Keith. Oh, y'all are so funny, man. Dude, I haven't been looking at hardly, man. I ain't been sleeping on anybody. I've just been so by myself and busy. I haven't even had time to look at, even really think about looking at booties and stuff here recently. Shit, since I had that breakup, I'm just now starting to be my normal self. It took a long time to get back to myself after that, man. Goodness gracious. Aaron says, can't stop, work won't stop. 7 said, I heard that somewhere online. Okay. Miss Bailey 2 says, I couldn't stand one of the sisters who it happened to, so I laughed. lot of cart work these days. Mormons preach too. I see Mormons out there in them damn short sleeve shirts and ties looking like fake ass Homer Simpson. Latanya Smith says, do you have PayPal? Super Chat takes part of your money. I don't have a PayPal. I have Venmo and Cash App. Venmo or Cash App, and I guess you could do Facebook but I usually just do Venmo or Cash App. But if you want to do a super chat, I mean, I don't care either way, but Venmo or Cash App are what I use for the most part. Marsha says, cart witnessing always has a bro posted on the next block. Doesn't seem very thought out. Really? Miss Blair says, I thought I heard something about that too. Haven't read the literature in about 2 years. Interesting. I need to figure out about that. I need to find out about that. Alicia says, we have been working for a long time too. If they are finished with the door-to-door, it's because they haven't been in areas for years. We just see them doing the carts. Interesting. Seventh Heaven says, I actually don't know how it can ever be done. There are babies born every day and are growing up. So how can they ever get done? Airman says, hey, Keith, we going out one day to look for women. I don't go out, but we got to set something up. We can't be single forever. Keith, did your friend release her music video yet? Latanya Smith says, Cash App is good. Oh, yeah, you can use Cash App. Yeah, Aramis, we can't be single forever, bro. But yeah, the music video has been released. I posted it on my Facebook. I'll go ahead and post it here in the chat too. Hold on one second. Let me see if I'll find it real quick. All right. This video was just posted a couple of days ago on June 4th. It's when it was actually released. But here is the video. Yeah, we gotta go out. Aramis, and find us some good. Cause see, that's the thing, man. You know, I was talking to my boys about it last night. You know, they both have it's like all my dudes have girlfriends now, and I don't have a girlfriend, so it's like the roles have reversed. So I'm a very picky person, though. That's my thing. So I have a long list of things I look for in a person. So it just takes me a long time to find somebody that, you know, I can check enough boxes off and think, okay, I'm good with that. But yeah, I don't want to be single forever. I definitely, at some point, want to have a woman. You know, I definitely want to have a girlfriend, or, you know, see where that goes, you know. Miss Bailey 2 says, in my area, most apartment complexes post private property signs and warn of soliciting. Developments in homeowner communities say they are a deed restricted community, so no uninvited people allowed. Interesting. I went to a JW funeral a few weeks ago. The mags are paper thin, probably only 8 pages. Mags just pile up at the Kingdom Hall. Nobody reads. They do everything digitally now. Man, times have changed so much. Airman says, yeah, me too, Keith. We are very similar. I don't settle for less. No time to waste. I don't either. If I can't find a woman that has, you know, all the qualities that I'm looking for, I'll just be by myself. It's all right. It's all right. As long as I got hands and X videos, I'll be all right. Alicia says, I wonder if they send letters to those restricted complexes. I don't know how they do it. Times have just changed so much, man. I wonder if I'm wondering if it's going to be something that is going to be illegal for them to go door to door anymore in a while. Latanya Smith says, good to be picky. It's better to be by yourself than wish you were. That's true. Seventh Heaven says, my mom writes letters. Really? Now, I remember them talking about doing letters a long time ago, but I don't think it was something that a lot of people did. But I wonder if they do, you know, like email stuff now, or how. I wonder how they do that. I wonder how they do that. Um, Alicia Safer says, used to be they believed in doing those campaigns big time for the conventions and the memorial. Apparently not anymore. Marsha says, great show, brother. Made me laugh. Hey, I appreciate it, guys. I really do, man. Hey, I really do. I tried to rush home and get here in time to do this show. I did that video earlier, and I tried to hurry up and get that wrapped up and then get it set up for this show. Then I had to go out and drive, and then I got back and tried to hurry up and get here in time to do this show. So I appreciate having you guys around too, man. It's always a relief to get to talk to some people, you know. Miss Bailey too says, very low attendance at most Kingdom Halls. Literature pile up, negative growth, and warned memorials will end soon. Really? Signs in my area saying no sitting, standing, loitering, or parking, etc. 7 says, sometimes the sisters get together and have a letter writing session and count that time. Are you serious? Man. Marsha says, do you do Patreon? Yes, I've started to try to get to a point where I want to do more on Patreon, because that video I did that we did about sex and the JWs, I had to take it down from YouTube and put it on Patreon, because it was just people called in and we were just talking about everything, and I said, yeah, that ain't gonna fly. So I had to take that one down. It's a Patreon only video. I think it would be really cool to have some streams that are just Patreon only. So that way we would be able to talk about a whole lot more stuff and not worry about YouTube, you know, flagging a video or anything. I have all that stuff on the ticker at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if you guys can see it. If you're on a phone with a small screen, you may not be able to see it, but if you turn it sideways, you may be able to see it. The Patreon icon is a little white and orange P with K Fits My Life. That's my Patreon page. Instagram is up there too. Instagram is at KFits9665. Facebook is KFits My Life. The Venmo is at Keith-Fitzpatrick-3, and the Cash App is $KFits9665. So all that stuff is up there. I would definitely like to do more on Patreon, but the thing is, I want to make sure that once I start doing something on Patreon, there's a benefit. I don't want people just donating for no reason, just for the sake of having somebody donating. I want to be able to provide something that is aside from what someone would get from just seeing me on YouTube. So I want to make sure that whatever we do or whatever I present is valuable enough for whatever donation someone wants to do. I think right now I have my Patreon set up at maybe $1 or $2 a month. It's not anything expensive. So yeah, man, I would love to have some patrons, but I don't want it to happen until there's really some real value. So I have to make sure that I figure out the right balance of content that's just for Patreon versus the content that's for YouTube as well. I don't want to jip people. So yeah. So I'm thinking about, I'll see if I can put some, can you post pictures in the chat? I don't know if you can or not. Give me 1 second, guys. Latanya Smith says, I'm glad you're here, Fitz. I'm glad you're here too, Latanya. I don't guess you can post. Okay. Miss Betty says, yes, they go to the other JW's houses too and call people and leave messages. People go on chats or online channels and comment and count replies as returns. Leave mags at the library, community center. Yeah. Now, whenever I go to a library or the laundromat or any public place, and I see a wash towel or a Wake magazine, I always make sure to throw it away. And I always make sure to make a huge deal about it. I don't do it, covertly. I make sure to throw it away every time and then make a huge spectacle of myself for throwing it away. What's this trash doing here? I make sure to throw it away every time. Every time. Every time. Doesn't matter where it is, it gets thrown. If I see it and it's laying there, I make sure to throw it away. Miss Bailey 2 says letter writing is mostly in the winter months or severe weather. The annual meeting and special announcements are mostly live broadcasts. 2 assemblies per year, 1 convention. The memorial meets the memorial then meets 2 times per week. Okay. I see you. I see you guys. All right. So I think we have exhausted our dangerous and nudist door-to-door stories. See, that's the difference. See, men and women are so different. Women always tell these stories of men just coming out and flashing themselves. See, that don't happen to men all the time. Women just don't come out showing you their titties or nothing like that all the time. That just don't happen that much unless you're a kid in school, I guess. All the teachers want to have sex with the kids now, but women talk about, oh, these dudes are always showing me something. Like, well, damn, how come we don't get to see some? I want some woman to flash. I want someone to flash me too. I want to see some. I want a woman to be like, oh, let me flash you my tits real quick. That don't happen. Women flirt a lot, but it's just my issue is just that it's never the type of woman that I want. So I don't really pay much attention, which I think makes them want to flirt more, which makes me wish the right woman would flirt more. But anyway. JJ Jr. says, I love JWs. They are just lost, stubborn folk. Miss Belly 2 says, JW meetings are twice per week. I ran out of space typing. Okay. Yeah, I remember we used to have, Mondays, Thursdays, because on Mondays we have the book study. Then Wednesday night we would have Theocratic Ministry School service meeting. And then Sundays, public discourse, Watchtower. Then field service on Saturdays, field service after the Sunday meeting. And then, people will go out during the week too. So now they only meet twice a week. Man, times have changed. Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't make Jehovah's Witnesses like they used to, man. Y'all, these Jehovah's Witnesses got it easy. They can take blood. They can go to college. They don't have to go to the meetings twice a week. They don't have to have a collection of publications. They can just use their iPads. Man, these some old punk ass Jehovah's Witnesses now, man. They complain about how hard they can. Shut up, man. These punk ass Jehovah's Witnesses, y'all ain't got it bad. Shoot. Y'all got it easy. Y'all came in on the easy Jehovah's Witness time. Back 20 years ago, there was some Jehovah's Witnesses back then, boy. You had a wreck, your ass was grass. You need some blood, your ass was grass. You wanted to go to college, your ass was finna be an idiot. You was gonna be an imbecile for Jehovah. You gonna have to talk like a slave for Jehovah. I've got these here watchtowers for you, master. I want to tell you about the new things that's coming along here, master. I'm gonna tell you about it, boss. What's the matter, boss? We a heathen, boss. Let me tell you. Let me tell you all about the new things, the new times that's coming. We're gonna be able to tap dance and shuck and jive and eat watermelons and play with pandas all days long. But we can't get no education. Don't tell me nothing now. Don't teach me nothing now. Crazy ass crap. Witnesses today is just sissified Jehovah's Witnesses. Y'all get to have iPads. Y'all get to have technology. Back when I was a Jehovah's Witness, spending money on the iPad would have been frivolous spending. That's money you could be given to the contribution box. Now y'all spending it on iPads. Y'all have broadcasts and stuff. Y'all get to know what the governing body looks like. Y'all get to actually see anointed people. When we was at the Kingdom Hall, I didn't even know what an anointed person looked like. I didn't know what the governing body looked like. I knew what the elders at my congregation looked like, and I knew what the cute girls at the assemblies looked like. That was about it. Latanya says, we's walked up hills across river both ways. Shoot. Y'all got it easy. Not y'all. I'm talking about these new Jehovah's Witnesses. Y'all got it easy. Jehovah's Witnesses got it easy, man. Y'all ain't that's why they're not complaining. They ain't got that. They not complaining because they had to put up with the same stuff we had to put up with. We had to put up with so much, man. So much. Getting called out over the platform, specifically to the point that people knew who they were talking about. Man, some crazy stuff. Knowing your congregation was crooked, but you had to go anyway. I remember as teenagers, we had a conversation about how crooked our conversation was. I remember us all saying, man, that mug crooked, ain't it? Our congregation crooked in the mug, ain't it? This mug crooked. This mug, that's the word you used to use for motherfucker back in the day. You know, you was a good Jehovah's Witness, you didn't want to curse. And I'm trying to stop cursing too. That's why I haven't said that many curse words tonight. So we were just like, that mud is crooked, ain't it? Everybody was like, yeah, that mud crooked. Our congregation crooked in the mud. Brother Fletcher always be looking. Other girls always be like, Brother Fletcher always looking to my titties. Brother Fletcher always looking to my booty. Brother Cobb senile. He always spitting when he talk. He always have white stuff on the side of his mouth when he give a talk, and you trying to make sure you don't look at the stalactites and the stalagmites on the side of his mouth when he talking, but you just can't help it. You look at it. It's about 3 elders that you hate, but you gotta talk to them anyway. You gotta talk to them. You gotta pretend like you like them. Then you gotta go over to talk to sister. You gotta leave them talking to that elder. Then you gotta go talk to sister. Kiss my ass. You know that's all you really want to say. Hey, sister, kiss my ass. How's it going? Then you gotta go talk to brother, go to hell. That's what you really want to say to him, but you can't say it. So you leave sister, kiss my ass, go over to brother, go to hell. Talk to both of them. And you go home and your mind is all messed up. Then you gotta go and highlight books for 2 hours. You just wish you had you know what, let me just color the whole damn page so I make sure I got everything. Go to the meeting, the whole damn books be yellow. How yellow? Your book be glowing. Why your book so yellow? I've been highlighting. I didn't want to miss nothing. Damn Kingdom Hall. Then you had to stay and clean that mug up at the end. You never want to clean the Kingdom Hall. You never really want to clean the Kingdom Hall, but you gotta clean it. Kingdom Hall was too damn cheap to get a real vacuum cleaner, so we had them little push vacuum cleaners that you see at the restaurant that don't pick up shit, and you gotta keep going over the same spot over and over again. You gotta lean the damn chairs forward. You get in each row, lean the chair forward, all on the row, push that thing all the way through it, lean the chair back, go to the next row, push the chairs forward. Man, damn Kingdom Hall. Damn Kingdom Hall. I can't even imagine what it would be like to go back to a Kingdom Hall at this point, honestly. I honestly can't even imagine walking inside a Kingdom Hall with like the serious intent of listening to them talk. I just imagine walking in the Kingdom Hall and just immediately laughing. Like I would just immediately start laughing. I mean, just walk in, but let's just immediately start laughing. Miss Bailey said, we went to several corrupt congregations. Elders forging attendance records, marrying pregnant JW. What? Never getting disfellowship because they were part of the clique. What? Why would you marry him because they got them pregnant? Gotcha. Mm-hmm. I mean, even when I was a teenager and me and my ex-wife had just started having sex, I mean, I knew about pulling out. How come people don't pull out enough? See, that's why I think you should jack off more. Like dudes should jack off more, because if you do that more, then you have a better, when you have a more intimate understanding of when you are about to ejaculate. So when it makes your pull-out game stronger. I don't understand how. I literally I have one daughter, and she was 23 years ago. There have been no pregnancy scares, nothing. Now, of course, my last girlfriend was on birth control for 10 years, but even before then, I never had to worry about getting anybody pregnant, because I knew when it was time to go ahead and pull out of that thing. But it seemed like people in the congregation was just getting pregnant left and right. I was just wondering if they had a damn cum fire hose at home or something. And I'm I'm like, are you just spraying cum out of the end of a hose? Why are y'all always pregnant? And you are not balling, brother. Brother, no pull out game. You are not balling. So I know you are, causing your family to be a little bit strapped now. You need to step your pull out game up. Miss Bailey too says she's telling the truth. One sister got pregnant before she got married. Several young people had babies but were not disciplined. JW stole money from the Kingdom Hall too. Miss Bailey says no, an elder's daughter was pregnant, rushed to get married. Later, when you did the math, she had to have been pregnant. Ah. Gotcha. Miss Bailey too says most people I grew up with were teenage mothers. See, if the dude had been spending some more time getting to know himself, he would have been able to pull out a little bit better, and he wouldn't have been getting all these women pregnant. They just don't understand how it works. They just don't understand how it works. That's what everyone when I talk to when I talk with women nowadays, they are always so surprised. You only have one daughter? Yeah. She's grown? Yeah. You live by yourself? Yeah. What's wrong with you? I'm smart. I enjoy not having to work 10 jobs to pay for 6 kids I done had with 5 different I don't want to pay for 5 kids I done had from 7 different people. So no, I learned from other people's mistakes. I got several friends, 3 and 4 kids. I'll be looking at him like, man, what were you thinking? Because I know it wasn't that good to be dealing with all the stuff you're dealing with right now. You dealing with all this stuff right now, all this child support, all this baby mama drama. I know Miss Bailey got a big old booty, but not even Miss Bailey booty is big enough to deal with all that now. I'd be like, Miss Bailey, I'm gonna need you to get your booty off of me now, cause I ain't finna be dealing with this. You ain't finna be my baby mama, and then I had to worry about all these problems. Now, Miss Bailey gonna move your booty for me. So, yeah, I don't blame you, Aramis. 29, no kids. People act like if you don't have 5 kids, there's something wrong with you. And I mean, if you got 5 kids, I understand that's okay. You can go and take your 5 kids. That's cool. But I don't. And see, the fact with me is that I don't want any more kids. I don't want any more kids. Because I mean, why? I'm 43. I have a grown daughter. Why would I want to start over again? That would be stupid as hell. But on top of that, the fact that I'm 43, and most people who see me, like, they see me dancing, like in my music videos that I'm in, or if I'm choreographing and things like that, so they don't think that I'm 43. So people who are my age have a bunch of kids, and I don't want to date anybody that has a bunch of young kids, because that was one of the issues I had with my last girlfriend. She had, for the majority of the 10 years that we were together, I only saw her 2 or 3 times a month because she had a daughter. So, going forward, anybody that I date, I don't want to date anybody that has any minor children or anything like that, because I have time. I have time to actually spend with somebody. So, I don't want to have to deal with somebody that has a bunch of kids, or enough kids to where they don't have time. If I were to say, hey, you want to do this, and they have to say, well, I have to have a babysitter, I'm like, you know what, you need to date somebody else. Soon as somebody tell me they gotta find a babysitter, I'm like, well, you need to find somebody else. Cause I don't got time to sit and wait for you to find a babysitter. I'm good on that. I am good on that. I am good on that. Miss Bailey 2 said no kids. Miss Bailey, you trying to submit an application for employment? What you doing? Then they try to clown you for not having kids. Man, you can never win. People will always hate. I love kids and will have one at the right time when I meet the right woman. I have a lot of self-work to do first. That's right. I hear you, Aramis. I don't think men should have kids until they're around 30, 35 years old anyway, because by then you just need to, that's how much time it takes you to become really aware of who you are. Give you time to get your career game straight. Get to know who you are, what you have had time to really know what you want to do. Get that popping. Find a woman that you really like. You know who you are as a person. You know what you're looking for in another person, and it gives you a little bit more time to be able to see through the BS that a lot of people try to shovel nowadays. And the older you get, the easier it gets to spot BS. Miss Bay says, I have no kids because of whack JW dating rules. If I have kids, I will be in my 40s, just starting my life over. I see you. LaTanya Smith says, I'm getting fit. Burpee workouts. All right. You better do them burpees. You better do them burpees. You better do them burpees. Burpees lead to Slurpees. Oh, man. I'm going to have to put that on a shirt. I just made that up, and I think that's funny as hell. All right, so I guess I'm going to get out here and make a little bit more money for the night and see how everything goes. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show tonight. It was a really, really fun time. I really appreciate it. Seven says, I had no kids and people look at me sideways too. I get it. Miss Bay says, okay. Oh, hold on. Miss Bay said, we had a sister with 4 kids, probably 4 different men. She kept getting reproved, bragged about what she did in another congregation in Mercy. Okay, well, she just need to face the fact that she liked the D. You know, sometimes you're just going to have to be real with yourself. That's the issue. A lot of JWs are unwilling or unable to realize who they are and what they like. She just liked the D, and she need to just go ahead and find somebody that she can get the D from regularly without getting reproved, or just stop telling it on herself. Stop telling on yourself. If you like the D, as you a girl, you a sister, you like the D, just get the D, keep it on the low. You a brother, you like the P, just get the P and keep it on the low. You don't gotta tell nobody. That's your business. That is your business. But yes, it has been an amazingly fun show. I'm in here showing off, talking about people's booties and stuff. But thank you guys so much for being a part of the show tonight. It has been really, really fun. I think I'll do a special on Friday night show tomorrow if I'm not driving too late, just to keep the thing going. I'm gonna do some video tomorrow too before I do the show, so we'll figure it all out. So again, guys, thank you for being a part of the chat. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the calls. It has been a really, really great show. And I have appreciated talking to you guys and hearing your great stories tonight. So thank you again. I will see you all tomorrow on the next one. All right. You guys have a great night, and I will see you soon. Peace.